Hello everybody, I'm Mrs. Langen and today we're going to be talking about time and we're going to look at a clock. And this is a type of clock that you're going to be seeing. Now, we're going to first of all, look at all the different parts of the clock and then we're going to look at how to tell time. This is going to be fun. First of all, before I zoom in, first of all, I want you to figure out look what happens to the clock. What happens to me when I put this up? My face disappears. So the very first thing that I want to teach you is this is the face of the clock. Now, let's zoom in, and if you can zoom in, please, and see all the different parts of the clock. And I'll try and keep this clock really still for you. All right, so here is a clock. And notice with the clock that this hand is called a hand. These sticks are called hands. So the whole is called a face. And then we call these hands. And the hands, because the hands move around. And notice how they're moving around in this direction. And all the hands, all these sticks are called hands. They all move around in the same direction. So if you've got the hands moving in this direction, and this is a clock, we say the hands move clockwise because it's moving in a clock. And the hands always go this way. Now, because the hands go this way, this is clockwise. We also say this is counterclockwise. So it's the opposite to clock, the way the clock goes. So you say counterclockwise. Clockwise, can you say that with me? Clockwise. Counterclockwise. Clockwise. Counterclockwise. Okay, now there's some other things. So these are called the hands. This is called the face. And the hands go clockwise. There is this hand that's going around the red one that keeps tick, 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 tick. And it's ticking every second. So it's moving around. And if you watch it moving tick, 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 tick. And if you were to count it the whole time, so if when it starts up here and it goes all the way around, it would take 60 seconds. So this is called the second hand because it's telling you how many seconds. All right? Then you've got this longer one and a shorter one here. The shorter one, let's start with the shorter one. The shorter hand is called the hour hand, and it tells you what hour it is. This hand tells you how many minutes. So you've got the seconds, the minutes, and the hour. And there's always 60 seconds. There's always 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and there's 12 hours and then another 12 hours to make a whole day. So 24 hours in a day. And we always say the morning time is 12 hours, and then the afternoon time is another 12 hours. Now, if you can really go in really closely here, see if you can see all these little marks in between the 12 and the 1 and the 2 and the 3. You see that? Good. Okay, now if you look closely, there's always 5 in between because there are 5 minutes between each of the big numbers. And the big numbers tell you what hour it is. And if you count all those little bits in between, that tells you how many minutes there are. So if you notice between the 12 and the 1, that's 5. There's another 5 to the 2. So if you're used to skip counting by 5s, you can actually skip count with me all the way around the clock. So let's do it together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And that's how many minutes there are in an hour. Okay? So that we're going to be talking about another time. But for now, what we're going to do is look at the hours. Now notice how this hand, while I'm talking, has moved this direction, is moving clockwise, just like the second hand. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these hands so that, this is a little tricky, but you can see that this minute hand, I'm going fast through time. Zoom, let's power through time here. And when we're powering through time, it's going all the way around, and look what happened to that hour hand. Do you remember where that hour hand, the little hand, was to begin with? It was up here. Now it's over here. That's the 1 o'clock, and that's what we say is 1 o'clock. This is the start point, is up at the top, and that's pointing to the 1, so we say it's 1 o'clock. So now let's do another one. Let's keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Look what's happening to this hour time. Do you see what's happening? It's moving clockwise, and it's going towards the number 2 until it gets to 2 o'clock. Okay, and then let's do that one more time until it gets to, what o'clock will be next? Did you say 3 o'clock? Good for you, 3 o'clock. Okay, and that's how the clocks work. So now let's zoom out and let's look at the board. Okay. And if you look at the board, there's a bunch of clocks up here. And we'll start with this clock. Notice that there's no second hand. A lot of clocks don't have second hands. And that's okay, because you really want to tell, most often, what time it is. And the time, we don't usually say how many seconds unless we're counting the number of seconds. So we're looking at this to find out what the o'clock time is. And we say, if we say it's 5 o'clock, it means that's time. So it's like saying the distance is 1 centimeter or 1 inch, okay? And that, notice how we use centimeter and inch, because that's a measurement for distance. For time, we say something o'clock. So we will have a measurement which is seconds, minutes, or hours. But when you're actually telling time, you say what it is exactly at that time. So it's not measuring a length of time, it is what is that time. So the what is, notice here, you've got the big hand is going right up to the 12, and the little hand is pointing towards the 5. Now what that means is the little hand was the hour hand. So let's do the hour hand. Hour hand. And this is how you spell hour. If it's time, okay, and you'll know that there's other ways to spell hour, but for a time it's H-O-U-R. And this is called the minute hand. If the minute hand is right at the top, then you say o'clock. If it's down here, it's 5, because it's pointing towards the 5. The small one is the hour hand. So minute hand is up there, small hand is down here. And you say that's 5 o'clock. So you can write it out as 5 o'clock, or you can put 5 ... 00. Okay? Let's go to the next one and see what o'clock it is. Okay, and we're going to be right on the hour. And this is what we say, it's right on the hour, it's not a little past. So for this one, the big hand is pointing up again. The little hand is to the 1. So this is 1 o'clock, or you could say 1 o'clock. Those are both correct. Let's do the next one. Can you read what this one is? What hour is this? Can you see close enough? You might need to zoom in a little bit here. Okay, you seeing what hour that is? The big hand again is right at the top, and the little hand is off to the side, and it's pointing to the 3. So this would be 3 o'clock. Okay, let's now come on over here. So I'm going to wait till you get here. And this time, we've got nothing on the clock, and you have to figure out how to write 8 o'clock. Okay, so it says 8 o'clock. That means the big hand, because it's 00, o'clock, then you point it straight up, because that's the 0 second. And you're going to see later what these mean, but that basically means it hasn't gone around at all. Remember how we did it 5, 10, 15, 20? It's straight up. Okay, so that's straight up is o'clock. So that big hand goes up there. And the hour hand, this is the little hand. This is the big hand. Okay, so the little hand goes to the 8. So we'll do a little hand like that. There you go. Okay, let's look at this one over here. And this one says 6 o'clock. So the little hand is for the 6, and the big hand is to show how far the big hand has gone. Okay, so this is the minutes. And the big hand is 00, so it has to go right to the top. And the little hand just goes to 6, so you're going to go down. Well, that's a funny one. It looks like a straight line, but it's not really. There's 2 hands. Okay? All right. Have fun with the time. And now, when you're looking at a clock, you'll be able to tell people, hey, that's 1 o'clock, or that's 2 o'clock, or it's 6 o'clock, or it's 8 o'clock. And you'll know how the clocks work now. So have fun with this. Thanks.